taking place in June, which we hope to get more information soon about that. So stay tuned. Eyes are peeled back to wait for that information to come out. But here we are, Into the Gorge, first game, match 2, Major Pride versus FUT Chaos.
Yeah, man, we see a mad scramble towards the mid lane, trying to get into position in the bushes, making sure that because both of these mid laners, they don't have a lot of wave clear by themselves. They're mostly a single target damage. They need to get into position to push out the waves as quickly as possible to allow the rotations to happen. Because if you're slow in clearing out the mid wave, that means your opponents have the upper hand. You do not want to miss any experience, but you don't want to let your opponents have the numbers advantage when they are rotating as well.
Absolutely. Interesting little tactic going on here. We see Mulan and Derenji now that they're actually rotating, but they started off in opposite lanes. Maybe just to freeze that wave in the clash lane, which is now freeing up Derenji to rotate around. But now they decided, right, okay, we've tried that. It's probably not the best matchup against Mulan very early game. Going against Huanzhong, especially with the range and attack speed, he is quite a ferocious farm lane champion right now. So they have now switched up that position. Derenji now going back down to the farm lane as well. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a strange one here. We've had no engage of the enemy jungle from the side of Major Pride, or vice versa from FUT Chaos. It has been very, very tame to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, Lamb is one of those heroes. If he gets a good start, he can snowball the game out of control. But he can play from behind as well. So maybe they felt, at least for the side of Major Pride, they felt that they don't have to shut down Lost as hard as you would if you want to shut down something like a Zilong. So they just let him be, making sure that they secure their own lanes. And so far, it's just been a very, even game in terms of the network and experience so far.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's going to be what we see all the way through. I think we're going to get a true pre-4-minute match where people are just farming up, getting their heroes to a steady level going into the Tyrant fight, which is where we may see that first clash go in. But my Snape on the side of FUT Chaos is definitely being very playful with this champion, going in for the engages, disengaging, doing a little bit of cheapy poke damage there, and then just getting out just to say, like, you know what, we're not completely going to be tame here. We are going to show you that we do mean business, and we are going to do a bit of damage to you as well when you're not looking. But I feel like here with Lamb, he's going to have a better time ganking that clash lane rather than the farm lane here, because of obviously all the extra bushes around and hopefully trying to get onto Mulan.
Yeah, Snape's trying to do that by herself, but gets spotted out there. Maybe gets knocked back, but she's gets knocked into the wall, but able to escape there just in time. Snape Void wasn't able to follow up with the control and the burst coming from the side of Snape, so Shisui will be able to live to see another day.
Absolutely. But as we saw there in the mid lane, Lamb was not letting that mid lane wave going to waste. He was farming that up, as we saw Mai trying to go in there to get the first blood for the team, because we all know that the extra bit of gold for first blood is always going to be some bit sorted for. You'd rather be the acquirer of the first blood rather than the actual victim of being first blood here.
Of course. Any bit of gold do snowball you the game, especially in such a high tempo game that is the Honor of Kings. So you need every little advantage you can get, because that will allow you to get the next advantage even easier.
Especially on the likes of a champion like Mai as well, getting every little bit of advantage just for that extra damage earlier on is going to definitely benefit these team fights going forward. So let's going to see what happens around these Tyrants and Overlord fights. They are now both spawned. Lamb is going for the Sage buff before preparing for potential Tyrant fight here.
Managed to secure it, and we'll go for the Tyrant while they're actually trying to contest this. Not able to get it though from the side of Major Pride, but they might get a kill here. Very tanky.
Yep.
He managed to change into his beast form, but will fall towards the end. But gets the kill. Nothing that Naur could really do to try and save his teammate there. He might be in danger himself, but Alinsky walked a bit too far out of the bush, gets caught out, might get stunned here though. Alinsky will follow up there with a stun, but there's no follow-up damage from the rest of his teammates. Mozu tries his best. He manages to transform and survive in the bush.
Yeah, so even trade there on both of the lanes. We see that Void was able to secure the Clash lane first tier turret, but we see that Major Pride and Kinesis were able to get the farm lane turret there. But well played to Foot Chaos managing to get the Tyrant. They did, however, lose the first blood. They are still ahead, though, in gold. Regarding and considering that they did lose first blood to Major Pride. It's all about what happens here now. We don't really want to see what happened with NRX and BJK, where there was a lot of pressure going on in the Clash lane and opening up all the way to that second tier turret, and everything else is up for grabs. But that was nicely done there. Kinesis managing just to get out there alive. It did seem like there was a potential kill there for Charlotte, however. Lamgo 1v1 here. The Mulan managing to pick up a kill for Foot Esport, Foot Chaos there. Nicely done. Lamb in true fashion, being able to just 1v1 very early on.
Yep, and now Foot will be able to try and go for the Overlord for themselves. Should be able to get this without any issues. Zhang Fei will be the one to get the last hit. We do see Mai already complete the Scepter of Reverberation, which means that her burst damage is going to go through the roof this early on. That is one of the power spikes. Overlord gets bursted down there by the Huangzhong, and they will manage to secure the mid-tier 1 tower as well. Nothing that MP can really do to try and fight back at the moment, because they are a little bit behind in terms of gold. And their Sage Golem right now is being contested. Alimsky doesn't do a lot of damage. They're trying to go for it, but now we're in a great position to deal the damage that he needs to do. Brings down one, which is the Mulan. Brings down the second as well, which is the Dun. And that gives them an even bigger advantage, because right now, giving the Huangzhong this good of a start early on spells doom and disaster later on in the game.
Absolutely, what a great setup there. I mean, we kind of saw it in the mid lane to begin with. We thought it was going to be a nice setup. It really was between the Charlotte and the Huangzhong there, and then we saw them manage to get a kill for Charlotte, but then setting up nicely on that Sage buff camp and being able to just take Mulan and the Dun down, like you say, is a great start for a champion like that in the farm lane.
He's already completed 2 items already on the side on the Huangzhong, now going for the Blood Reaper to allow him to continue in these fights, dealing the damage that he needs to do. So once he gets to that Daybreaker, that's when you know that the game is completely out of your hands. But before that, at the moment, there is still a chance to shut him down before he gets completely out of hand.
Absolutely, you can see him trying to slowly start to build the lifesteal as well, because he has the shield, but having that lifesteal, being able to run away but also dish out the damage at the same time, is going to keep him a lot more viable in these upcoming team fights and potential ganks from the enemy team as well. But currently, I don't see any ganks happening on the side of Major Pride, because their jungle is wide open. They have no tier 1 turrets now. It's all gone down. We have a very solidified and a Huangzhong there, just very stationary, just giving off a lot of pressure to Major Pride in that bot lane. Whilst Dun and Lamb go 1v1. We've seen this already happen once against the Mulan, and we see Lamb getting a big backup there from his team. Can he potentially get the kill? Dun's still alive, but yes! We managed to get it, and Mai takes down the Dorenji as well. Zhang Fei also being a great asset into that team fight, just being an absolute beast at the front line.
Yeah, Mulan did manage to jump towards the back line and bring down the Huangzhong, but at what cost? You lose 3 of your heroes, you lose the mid-tier 2 tower, you're going to lose the Might Golem buff as well, and you're going to lose the bottom tier 2 tower. That is way too much map pressure right now from the side of Foot Chaos that Major Pride doesn't really look like they have an answer for it.
No, they really don't. I mean, we're still pre-10 minutes. They only have one last surviving second-tier turret, and Lam is just gone and taken a second Tyrant for his team. So Foot Chaos are now, once again, going to get that increased damage and movement speed that is well-deserved and well-needed, especially on the champion Huangzhong as well as Mai, these big burst champions that they are, big burst heroes that they are.
Things are not looking good here for Major Pride. They need to try and get a fight to go their way as soon as possible, because Direnji's timing is almost up. He's not really at his peak yet, but before he reaches his critical mass, this Huangzhong is going to be able to end the game already. So he needs to try and get a favorable fight for the rest of his team, but the damage coming from Mai almost burst down Olimsky on the Dun, which is not a soft hero. He is pretty tanky in his own right, but the Mai was just able to chip down his HP in a matter of seconds.
But just look at that economic curve going on down on that graph there. They're currently 9k ahead, which for FUT Chaos is definitely a desired position to be in. They've just taken the Tyrant and they've taken the Overlord as well. 10 minutes in, they have another 2 jungle objectives in the bag. What can Major Pride do to actually come back here? I don't think there's that much in terms of a late game plausibility.
Yeah, the late game definitely goes towards the way of FUT Chaos. So right now they need to try and get these pickups on the side of the map. But it looks like it will be FUT Chaos being the ones to get the pickoffs, because they managed to bring down Kinesis on the side, not really committing way too much. Only the Zhang Fei ultimate there being used, but they are still ready to take fights. Wang Zhong not afraid of anything at all, jumps in the middle of everybody, pops the ultimate to try and do some damage, but the tower defense was still up and he wasn't really able to get any kills. Everyone was still safely behind their high ground and their tower, so they will have to wait for the Shadow Vanguard to start attacking this mid-tier tower.
Yeah, the high ground turret is looking to go down here, so we are just over the 11-minute mark, and higher ground turrets are falling now on the side of Major Pride. Still behind with 6 kills. They are still way behind in the gold as well. There's a heavy presence up there in the clash lane. I mean, rightfully so, because Charlotte has already done all the legwork, and now the Vanguard are coming through here with the Dragon as well, just to help them. But Chaos going through, Lamb coming in true Lamb fashion, doing lots of damage like the assassin that he is, getting a triple kill. Lost, quad kill, popping off. And where was the Penta there? Complete ace. 11 minutes game.